Welcome everybody back to another BOLDcast reaction. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
And this is One Piece episodes 168 and 169. What happened last time?
Last time we met Eneru and was the wolf thing last time?
I think so.
Amazing feast and fire with the wolves. It got super wasted.
Somebody in the Patreon comments said that that's one of Oda's top 3 favorite moments from all of One Piece, and I can see why. It's an incredible thing.
It was so good.
And we also learned that Eneru's design is based off of Eminem, and we've been told that he's the rap god, not the god of lightning. So that's interesting.
And all of the priests are having free reign. They're setting up their ordeals. They're, it's gonna be a big fight.
Indeed. Leave a like and subscribe to the BOLDcast One Piece channel. You can also subscribe to the main channel if you want me to shave my head for your entertainment. Once we get to 100,000 subscribers, I'll be shaving my head over there. We'll end here. It'll be on both, but we're also doing Avatar over on the main channel, so you can check that out if you're interested. You can also check out patreon.com/BOLDcast. That's linked in the description, where you can get 2 weeks ahead of One Piece Uncuts and 1 week ahead of One Piece Edits. As same thing applies to Avatar as well, and all the other series that we're doing on our other channel. Most of all, we hope you enjoy this reaction. Let's go. Oh yeah, that was the weird part. I forgot about that.
What?
They put the Mary back together without all the crazy details, the bird stuff, so they knew what it looked like beforehand, presumably.
You're literally no better. You're all gonna get sticks. This classic you.
This Chopper's so freaking cute.
Be careful what you wish for, Chopper. Something's gonna... Oh, look in the back.
Oh boy.
Big snake. Oh.
Those roots have a weird pattern.
Chopper. Chopper. Maybe he doesn't know what a snake is. Chopper. Robin's just like, it's not roots, you morons.
They're all encircled now.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That's such a cool design. I love like the little like wispy bits.
The hairs.
And they got their flag back too.
Somehow.
Captain.
They're pushing it with that thing.
That's so cool. It's not that hard of a name. Turns out that's where the laxatives are as well. Just randomly give him something terrible.
Sure. 6 years ago. Until 6 years ago, I was God.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Why is Pierre all pissed off?
He doesn't like interruptions in his story.
On second thought, maybe you don't deserve the medicine, sir. Was he God 400 years ago? I wonder. So he just appeared one day.
Mm-hmm. Supposedly just from another sky island. You're trying to... People come up there and try and steal stuff. Hmm. And what do you do while you were God? And how does it work? And how can he fire that massive
And how did they get wings? The gold. So God doesn't know what the hell the gold is about?
Mm-hmm.
It must mean the gold's not fucking there.
Or just
unless they don't
never
have
saw
gold.
gold as being valuable, so the dirt is valuable, and gold is just
Yeah.
whatever.
Like, oh, the gold, what's so special about it? Flashback.
It's quite dramatic demand.
Why would you say that?
What's that girl? Oh, it's probably all the thought. If she can hear everyone's like voices, you can hear all their thoughts or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Why is the Verth now necessary for the sky people?
I think that they bring it out and they like plant stuff in it, right? Like that's why he's like,
guess,
oh, I
yeah.
like to grow pumpkins, so you should let me pillage your land.
Yeah, I mean, it seems pretty black and white to me. Shit.
The dripping poisonous fangs. Oh, I love the design of this thing. It's so cool. Poor Chopper. Come on, you can take it. Come on, hit it with your stick.
Whoa.
Nice. It's like acid. You could have cut its head off while it was biting that thing.
Oh my god.
I would think so after that. Oh my god. But no. Luffy's just having way too much fun. The Southbirds. Yeah, of course not. They don't know. They don't know anything. Oh.
Zori, you should probably just stay
I look away for a second and this happens. Sure. What do you mean they'll manage? You like how he goes left? That's me.
That's Lindsay. South is a warmish direction. Great.
I can't even watch.
Yeah, looking in a mirror is hard for some people.
I love this whole episode. Everyone's just had a really forced, over-enthusiastic laugh.
Yeah. Oh boy. What do you think of that one?
I loved poor Chopper at the beginning. He's like, "Oh, it's so great," and then it's just like, "Oh no, I can't tell them about the the giant moving roots." It's like Chopper, and then what I love is it's like then Luffy sees them. He's like, "Oh yeah, those weird roots with stripes on them," and so I was like, "Huh, yeah, those roots are weird." And Robin's just like she doesn't even say anything, but it's like,
why wouldn't you?
It's
say
just
anything?
like. It's so obviously not roots.
I just thought dialogue between Chopper and Luffy about the stick is so cute.
That was so cute. Oh, you got a stick. No, get your own
Luffy,
stick.
that's a nice stick.
I want a stick. Goes and gets the stick. It's so cute. I want to cry just thinking of it because it's so sweet.
It's so cute.
I love it. It's like two
And
little kids
relatable.
on a walk.
Relatable. Everyone knows the joy of finding a perfect stick.
Yeah, you find a really good stick. Mm-hmm. That was so nice. And then we got more of the history with Gone Fall. Yeah. Seemed like, he comes in trying to do a negotiation, but Wiper and probably the rest of them too are just like, you're coming in to this negotiation after we've been abused for like 400 years.
People.
It's just like, okay, well, the innocent people have been benefiting off of their displacement, and
So they're not innocent by definition.
And coming in there, kind of being like, oh, I will allow you to have something, instead of being like, you can have this back, and then maybe we can work some negotiations. He's trying to please everyone by obviously letting all the people in Skypiea have access to Verth still, but I feel like it just comes across as a bit of a slap in the face to be like, yeah, I'm admitting that this is your area, but I'm also still gonna control it and make a rule that we still have access to take from it. Even though I'm giving it back to you, I'm not really, and it's kind of it's not even really a negotiation, because it's the person in power is just you can go here, but we're still gonna kind of be in control of it. I'm setting the terms on you having back this thing that was already yours. So it's just it's just kind of bad all around.
We got the chief here. Move aside, chief. Is this Kalgara? Or somebody else?
Oh.
Move aside, chief. He's saying that to him. Because he's not the chief.
Yeah.
Because there's a statue that he keeps referring to, the warrior, the great warrior Kalgara. I don't know if they're referring to this guy or a previous.
I was thinking maybe that was like one of the first guys that like came up 400 years ago.
Probably.
And is like legendary now.
Maybe. He just has a similar nose to the guy in the statue. It's very realistic portrayal. I wonder if there's if we knew more about Okinawa, maybe there's some stuff in there because there's a similar kind of situation where like Japan kind of fucked them over, and then there was recently like there's still, I think, like it's still kind of a tense kind of thing where they were a more recently conquered island nation, like right beside Japan, and they consider themselves like their own people, but they're also Japanese. But there's protests and stuff like that, and it was a very hot button issue for a long time, and I think it still is for some people. I wonder if that plays into it, or if Oda did a lot more research into, because it's very similar to the kind of situation we have right now in Canada and in the States as well with indigenous people. It's kind of the same thing, and that's why, because I'm thinking like, in the context of the show, it's pretty black and white, but it's also not, because if you think about because it's basically what's happening in real life, where it's like people want their sovereignty back, and it's not everybody. A lot of people, most people, I think at this point are just kind of like, we live in the world we live in today. It's like all the shit that happened before, we need to kind of go through that. But like they don't want, nobody really today wants to go back to living how their ancestors did necessarily. It's not like, we need to like, in certain ways, like cultural practices and stuff. But the point is like, we live in the world we live in now. Let's live together and like pay homage to that. But here it's like they just want to go back. They just want their land back, So I don't know. It's an interesting thing. It's very kind of, because I question when I'm watching. I'm just like, why, if Gonfall is like a good guy, because like the show's trying to portray Gonfall as like the reluctant sort of trying to make it work for everybody type guy, but there's nothing for like, there's no reason for him not to be like, Sky people lived up there for a long time, totally fine. But now he's like, oh, well, the Sky people are innocent, and they need the power that the Verth provides. But he could easily, if he was as benevolent as he seems, just be like, you guys take it back and we'll trade for it. Yeah. How about we just like give it back to you, and then we'll just live together peacefully. But instead, he still wants to own it and stuff like that. But it kind of plays into the more metaphorical aspect and the allegorical aspect. Like relating to indigenous people today in North America and other places as well. I don't know. There's a lot going into it. Anyway, I don't know. I could see there's definitely some thought put into like that whole idea. So yeah, interesting.
And yeah, I'm interested to see kind of how this all wraps up, because Gonfall, when he comes in, he is kind of giving it's just completely on his terms and not really with any of their interests. But I'm wondering if at the end of this there can be some sort of new thing where they get Verth back and they can live there, and if they choose that they want to trade, then they can, but they don't, you don't have to have these people coming in so they can get their fucking pumpkin juice. And,
Why would he say that? Like, why on earth would he say that? What he was
trying to go for was he was trying to be like, oh, I like the things that having access to your land gives me. But that's such an asshole move.
I see the humble beauty in, like, your lifestyle or your culture kind of thing. Like, you have provided me with this simple pleasure that like gives me life, and is beautiful to me. But obviously, it's comes off pretty condescending when you say it at this negotiation.
Yeah, it's like they don't have pumpkin juice. They're like living in this area because they got kicked out. So it's just it was kind of a bit of a blunder there for him, I think.
All right, next episode. Ooh.
I like the music. Butt shot.
Nami butt shot. Robin's drink. Robin is like the Trailer Park Boys Juliet. Oh, it's a beach OP.
Whoa.
Whoa.
You see that little dog thing?
No, I didn't. That was a great OP.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good OP.
Mm-hmm. I got stuck in my head now.
Bon voyage.
Yeah, literally just that part. So stupid. They need leashes on them. They need like those child leashes. They're so cool with how they just whip around on those things.
Wiper.
I like hearing like one or two words or names of the... Oh my god.
Do it. He should have kicked it.
Mm. Mm. I was ready to sink this ship. Mmm. It lets off steam. Explode.
Good teaching
Yeah, that's
moment.
pretty crazy.
It stores the energy. It's just like all the other dials.
Mm-hmm. Impact dial. Just cover your entire body with that.
You could turn those into guns if you get dials small enough, or like bullets.
Mm-hmm.
You just load them with like a hydraulic press level power.
Who's off the side? Oh.
Oh!
Oh.
So it's not a superpower? He just had them in his gloves?
Hmm. Reject dials. Damn.
I feel like Nami just put on that hairstyle and she just has kept it.
Oh.
Whoa! I wonder if Eneru uses that. And reject dials.
Very wise. Very cool. Wow, that's
What?
so cool.
So it has a
It's
dial in
everyone's
its
just
mouth?
giving themselves superpowers essentially.
I wonder if the dials are going to be a thing past this arc, or if it's like...
if we're gonna like get some and bring them with us.
I mean, I think it'll be like, we'll get a waiver type thing, upgrade to the ship, but... A listening ability. Oh, so Aisa's probably just really sensitive. What's that little one out to the side?
How good that fruit looks.
That pineapple looks cool. No, get out of here, three little pigs.
Wow, getting your banana peeled.
I mean, it's the perk of being a god. This is what he fought for, is that right there.
Mm-hmm.
They're like cow people. They're like sheep? Because he's a shepherd as god.
Just like,
You're
what
forgetting.
do you want from me, sir?
You're forgetting. I might decide to kill them all.
They will all die. Sure, answer straight out after you, like, beat around the bush.
5 of the 81 people on this island will be standing. Everyone looks around and is like,
If there's more than 5 of us here, boys.
you, little blonde girl, are you feeling lucky today? They have to be the coolest fucking fighters in this whole show at this point.
Yeah, it's not even close, I feel like. Oh. Oh, everyone's in the string.
This is bad.
This is really bad.
He's just gonna light them all on fire.
That's why they weren't expecting it. They were just like, oh, if I don't go in that area, it won't be a problem. 3%. Uh-oh.
Is that 5 of 81? Is 5 of 81 3%? No, it'd be more than that. It'd be way more than that. Ah! I'm a pigeon! I wonder if anybody remembers that. Does anyone remember the I'm a pigeon thing?
That's how you know you're
Only
OG.
real ones
remember
the I'm a pigeon. What episode was that?
I have no idea.
It was early. I think no, you know why I made that joke is because I was so bored because it was after the Orochimaru base arc, whatever the hell that was. Tenchi Bridge arc.
String clouds. I like that. I like that it's not just like you get stuck to one. It's like they're so light and small that you don't notice until they like stack up enough that it totally catches you. Oh. Damn it. Imagine if he just blew his head off.
It's the only way he could get a hold of him.
One of those dials. The crazy ones.
Reject dial.
Oh my god.
I bet it's still not enough. Oh, maybe it was.
Better hit him again.
Lucky.
Or get your gun and shoot him.
He's so badass.
His arm's probably just completely screwed after that.
Damn!
That was fast.
Badass.
I love how fast that went.
I love how sick it is too, because we had like a crazy fight with him. We had an idea of how powerful he was before, but for that to work is just sick.
No, they deserve to get defeated. It's a game to you. Oh no, only 5 people will stay alive. That means 2 people off the crew will die.
Oh my god.
I hope that she goes in there and like comes in clutch somehow.
Was that his bird or was that
I think it might have been his bird. Such a badass.
Shoots at his own men?
I thought he shot it.
Oh.
Nice.
I thought he was just shooting in their general area to prove a point.
The sound of that, of the like.
I love
walking,
that.
It reminds me. I don't know if it's quite the same, but like in Wallace and Gromit, when he has the wrong trousers, and it makes a sound like that. I'm pretty sure.
Lindsay's references are like the funniest shit ever. You guys have no idea.
They've got those shoes too. Feel like there might be an escape from you. Not gonna lie.
This is these guys. It's just 50 of whatever the fucking 4 dudes who got instantly destroyed in Alabasta.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we need to prove ourselves. Oh!
Holy shit. So he had the axe dial.
And that's just one of them.
There's 50. All right. Did he get a different stick? With a...
Wait. He can sing, goddamn!
Oh, no, he's gonna fight these guys. Oh, touch my hat. What if it was a goat and you just attacked it like that?
He's like, well, what if he's just like, close enough. And starts eating the dude. Luffy's so good at singing, it's crazy.
He just defeated one of those guys.
I'm chilling. Really? Just leave him. Like, you have bigger fish to fry.
Oh boy.
You're not directing your hatred in the right direction, my friend.
Wasting time fighting Luffy.
And you're not gonna beat him. Like, he's more powerful. He's like, I mean, we're gonna beat the main guy. So, like, ooh. I love this.
Mm-hmm.
Look how serious Chopper is.
Mm-hmm.
He's like...
Very nice. That was so good.
It's good. The endings are getting shorter, though.
Oh.
And as we know, the endings eventually disappear, which is kind of unfortunate.
Right. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
What did they do? Did they extend the OPs later on, or what?
I think so, yeah. I think they extended to 2.5 minutes eventually.
Honestly, I feel like just like,
I feel like
especially if your show
don't fix
is
what ain't
like
broken.
slowing down, like you want this at the end, you know?
Yeah, I don't get that. I there must be a good explanation for it. It just doesn't make sense to me because they like. I also know that the recaps get longer and the opening gets longer, but so they elongate the opening so they can fill more time because they're covering less per episode.
But then you get rid
of the ending. That's like a minute to a minute and a half. Like at this point, the endings have all been like a minute for the last few, I think. But it's kind of like a weird decision because like why not have a minute and a half and 1 minute instead of a 2.5 minute
Especially
one thing.
also when like pretty much all anime have an OP and an ED, and like those are like big.
It's like an easy format, and
Yeah.
I wonder if they do
like,
switch it back.
Yeah.
Like in modern episodes, they might be more normal. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway,
Good episode. That was crazy. I love how fast they defeated that guy.
I like how fast this whole episode moved in general. You know.
But I just love like we learn about the reject dial, and then Wiper just uses it and like takes him out instantly and completely destroys him. And it was just, I love it because so often we get into these big group battles and it is just like immediately everything grinds to a halt. We're like seeing like No Name 1 versus No Name 2 like flail around essentially.
And the whole point of those types of encounters is to set up power scaling for when our guys show up, or a philosophical sort of question that our guys will answer when we come up against them. But it's just like when you know, there's no reason to drag all that out. But it can be like, it can be dragged out and really hamper the show, or it can be a real fun, interesting, exciting encounter because it's all side people who don't have stakes in the main conflict or who aren't main characters, so you can kind of do whatever you want with them. I know like One Piece isn't all about killing people all the time, but you could theoretically do it. Like there's no reason to give any of these guys plot armor. So giving in these encounters are a really good way to set things up for the future thematically and physically in terms of power scaling, and to show, you know, to have no restrictions based on what you do with them.
And I really like it because it's like, because this battle is like hyped up, and then we've like already seen people fight, and it's been so cool, and then we have the literal god of this place hyping up the fight, being like, oh, you're underestimating this fight. I think this fight is going to be way crazier than you think it's going to be.
Yeah.
And then instantly they take out one of the priests.
Yeah.
And it's so cool. And then one of those goat guys comes in and literally like slices a guy. Just
Multiple.
Instantly. That was crazy.
Multiple, yeah. The one of the goat guys takes out multiple.
And then I
of
love
the
when Luffy
Shanyans.
just like attacks him.
Like from off the backhand, basically, too.
I think that Wiper needs to settle down a little bit because I understand also not wanting like
New people.
Luffy and the rest of them there. Like they don't matter to them. They also want them gone. But I feel like when you have two, like an enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of deal here, where it's just like, you know that he is going against Eneru, and what you want more than anything is to get Eneru out of here once and for all. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it should be the kind of thing where you like leave them, they help you, like not even working together, just at the same time, coincidentally, they're also fighting the priests and stuff. And then you can deal with it after.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he also just seems to be, like, really, obviously, like rightfully so, he's very angry. And kind of makes, like, rash decisions immediately, it's literally on site for him. But, and also maybe he's worried, like, maybe he's thinking that he might not make it out of here, because he was, like, you know...
Yeah, but then why? Like, it just...
Well, then maybe he wants to get rid of Luffy because he knows that he's strong, but it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
You think that you're gonna die, why are you fighting this other guy?
It doesn't make any sense.
Instead
You
of
could just let
fighting
him
the
pass
guy
and
that
go.
you want?
Yeah, you're getting distracted for kind of no reason.
It might also just be because they want to have a cool fight between Luffy and
that to me
Wiper.
seems like there's no other reason. Like, there's no other reason to make Wiper angry against them other than you're trying to farm this, like, conflict between them. And because it doesn't make any sense. I'm sure there's a million people who can like make a crazy 3-paragraph argument as to why it makes sense, but it just doesn't with what they want. There's no reason for them to do it. Luffy was walking away. There's no reason for him to do that right now. I would understand him threatening him, like, if I see you again after this fight is over, then we'll have something to settle. But like, try just after you're literally on death's door, you almost killed yourself with the rejectile. Yeah. You're like one attack away from fucking dying. You're wounded still from your last encounter. There's no point to do it. I understand that it's like you said, it's all about how he's like full of rage. He's like a warrior spirit who's like who's taking the fight out and like is willing to sacrifice anything. But it's not only not smart, there's just no benefit to it, and he's not his enemy. There's no, you know, and other than the fact that like, yeah, he is trespassing as well in his eyes. It's just in this moment, it doesn't make sense to start the fight here. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. It's like
unless you want a cool fight between, or a cool like foreshadowing, like Luffy versus Wiper, and then Luffy will learn through fighting him, and then have a reason to go fight Eneru.
Yeah, like if they fight and he's like, "You're so strong. You're the only one that can beat him. Go and like take him out." It's like he was literally already going to take him out, but you know.
I feel like that might be what happened. Maybe he'll just die trying to fight Luffy,
or
like,
just get like
brutally injured,
taken out of it. Yeah,
and then Luffy will be like, "Yeah, I respect this guy. You know what? I'm gonna go finish what he started."
Yeah, because we like Luffy's respect can go a long way. So
yeah,
you know, I'm assuming that that's probably like, you know, what
we'll
might
see,
happen
though.
here.
But we got the sheep guys, like, so we got rid of Satori, who's the big fat mushroom or fat marshmallow shanks, and then we got rid of Shura this episode. At the same time, we got introduced to 50, so it's Oda doing the same thing that he did all the time, where it's like, okay, I'm not ready for the final confrontation. I need some more build-up. Let's introduce a bunch of fucking useless fodder just to fatten things up here in the rising action before we get to the climax.
Classic.
You know, whether it's Pearl, whether it's the Cat Brothers, whether it's fucking you name it, anybody. Random fodder shithead characters. What? These guys are decently cool, and they do have. They do come across, they like delivered on what they said they were going to deliver on, and I'm willing to accept it if it keeps the actual
like main bad guys more badass. You know what I mean? Like if it's like the priests are allowed to be super badass but then get killed, so then we have these guys that can kind of like fill in instead of elongating the priests and like making them not die. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, like it's just a weird placement for them for after the priests are already being dealt with to put them there. Like, so it's just I think it's just an opposite, because now we got all the Shandian warriors coming in, so they need somebody to fight. Otherwise, they're just going to be fighting the Straw Hats or other, random faceless things. So in a way, it is appreciated that these guys are created as like some kind of buildup and as a named presence rather than just random millions, billions Baroque Works agents, just dudes, So like to have fodder with a name, with a purpose, with some kind of backstory and buildup does have its benefits, obviously, in terms of like a big war conflict you're setting up. But it is what it is at the end of the day. But the interesting thing, sort of, thematically is wrong, symbolically with them. So like again, we're going back to the whole God and religion, Shintoism, and well, this isn't about Shintoism; it's more about Catholicism. But in the Christian faith, shepherds are usually like the better farmer, is like Cain and Abel. Cain was like a vegetable farmer, and he was a shithead, and he killed his brother Abel, who was the badass. God smiled on him. He was the younger brother, and he had like the whole world ahead of him. God was always like giving him all these gifts, and he was a shepherd. And there's multiple references in the Bible to like the shepherd being like the main guy. It's like you always hear like priests being the shepherds of their flock or whatever. And when you sacrifice to God, you don't sacrifice just a bunch of veggies. That's usually a side for sacrificing a goat or a lamb. And Jesus is called the Lamb of God because he's a sacrificial. He's like this pure, beautiful thing that with no sin, no anything. It's this pure thing, and you sacrifice the potential of the goat that it will come into. Like when you make a sacrifice to God, when you burn a goat for God or a lamb, you're sacrificing not only the meat that you have as like a tribal individual, you're sacrificing the potential gains and wealth that you would have with this grown goat in the future. So there's a lot of like significance put on being a shepherd and sheep and keeping sheep. And obviously pigs are a no-go generally in most religions because they can carry diseases and stuff like that in times where it wasn't as sanitary. But it makes sense then all of this is leading to why these are sheep people, because they're, it's sort of bolstering, but they also have the horns. They're the pointed horns.
Goats. And they got
goat, sheep, whatever. You get what I'm saying.
Same thing.
You get what I'm saying. And I think I think it's an intentional kind of thing, because it's all with the theme of, the apex Christian Catholic sort of belief that it's set up with Eneru and the whole God structure here. It all kind of feeds into it, and I think that's an intentional thing to make them like this with all of the things that I just said. I just wanted to point out all that kind of stuff. But also the fact that he's not the good God, like he's a usurper and stuff like that, it kind of turns the whole thing on its head, because while there are all these like goat, sheep, fighter guys, and all the stuff with shepherds and things, he's not a good guy at the end of the day. So it's kind of like a dark underbelly to this like holy sort of situation. I don't know. I think you guys understand what I'm saying, but that's interesting. But I'm seeing a kind of, since we met Eneru, there's a similar kind of movement in the plot structure that happened around midway through Alabasta. It's like Alabasta, we get to Alabasta, we explore, we learn about the rebellion, we learn about Koza, we learn about all this stuff. And then as we're traveling through the desert and encountering all these animals and all these situations and all these wacky, zany things, there's a little bit of filler there, but like generally it's like long journey through the desert. And then at some point, we're just like, you know what? Fuck it. This is what we're doing. And we're going to Crocodile. And that we're at that, we just passed that point, I think, when the two teams split up. And they were like, this team on this piece of paper flashing on the screen, this team on this piece of paper. And we met Eneru, and we were learning a little bit more about the Shandians and like a bit more build up. It's like, okay, we have explored And now, bam, we're taking like a sharp turn into towards the conclusion of the arc. And that's kind of, it's a very similar structure to what Alabasta kind of went through.
Yeah. I feel like that also might happen even more directly if we do get a Luffy versus Wiper, and then Luffy is like, all right, now it's straight to Eneru and I'm taking him out. Like, I feel like that will be, if that happens, that would be an even more direct comparison, because it's like, okay, we're not just looking for gold. Gold is like not the number one. We're not just exploring in hopes of finding something that we want. It's like, we are getting that guy. We're not just like taking what we want and leaving. We are like helping, and we are on a mission. You know?
And sort of evidence of that kind of shift is, like how the priests are like built up as like the buffer between us and the main conflict, but now we just got introduced to a bunch of other stuff, and the priests are dropping like flies. It's like there's kind of, you know, it's showing sort of movement in that kind of direction. But yeah, so we're kind of finding ourselves on a very similar, and now we obviously got Gonfal explaining a lot of the history, just like how we had Vivi explaining a lot of the history to us, and like giving us sort of direction as we go. A lot of backstory, a lot of things to find. Like, you know, we're talking about the gold. They're talking, and then he's talking about like, oh, what's this gold you speak of? Probably you're right. They probably just don't have a use for it because the earth is so valuable to them. They don't really give a shit about
why
this
do you
metal.
care about the metal when
about this soft, shitty metal that like you can't do anything with unless you have electricity. Anyway, which they do have electricity, but we've been over this. Anyway, good stuff. We'll see you guys in the next one. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
Bye-bye.